Well, a good thing that you've cleared the air on that one now. But what can you tell us about the security situation? Because remember, when that explosion happened, you held several emergency security meetings. What was the outcome of that meeting?
It became very effective. You know what we did? We said, okay, now there's a threat. That's a threat. The bomb was real. It was actually meant to detonate. I mean, it was actually meant to explode by 8:30 when the church would have been in full session. So you could imagine how many thousands of people that would have died. I thought this people should have commended the governor for his quick response. And then we now say, okay, now there is this. Security is not a government responsibility alone. And you cannot achieve a perfect security if you don't get the people involved. You see, the security is about the people, by the people, and for the people. Government should only guide and provide certain police checks and all that. But if the people on their own can take the responsibility of checking on the criminals, it will be reduced. Have you asked yourself a question? How many criminals do we have in Nigeria? How many Boko Haram people in Nigeria? Have you ever thought of it? Now, how many armed robbers do we have in Nigeria? Probably not up to 0.01% of the population. So why should 1 million people, 500,000 people, 200,000 people hold the entire 160 million people to ransom? If it's not knowing what to do, lack of vision.
But part of the prevention strategy you talked about, what about job creation? Can we say that the unemployment rate in Imo State has reduced?
Unemployment rate, we just engaged 25,000 youths in what we call youth must work. What we call employment strategy or rationalization to keep the youths out of criminal activities. And on Ohajegbem and Oguta, where we have this youth restiveness, we will give 500 million for the first time in the history of that state for youth empowerment, teaching them entrepreneurship, making of soap, making of that. That's working out. At it. Now we have engaged over 30,000 youths. The other pan that wasn't working has been brought back to life after 30 years. The shoe industry now is working as it produces shoes for our children. And recently, 2 days ago, I went to Afutu Poultry, the biggest poultry east of the Niger, built by Mbakwe. Now it's brought some South Africans, is now working, engaging over 1,000 youths. Now, this is the way to create jobs. But most importantly, I don't believe that people must get into crime because they have no job. I don't know about the Igbos. Every Igbo man is an entrepreneur. I mean, there's something for him to do. You don't just have to wait because government gives you a white-collar job before you can do something. So we said, listen, if you stop the youth from getting into crime, their brain will open to something else. And that's what's happening in Imo State right now. We have youth now, we have what is called a konanko. A konanko, I'm sure, Chamberlain, you are from Imo State. The konanko means, have you planted palm? Now, the palm seedling today costs 200 naira. And when you plant a palm seedling, just 18 months after, you have 3,000 from 200 naira. 3,000 naira. So you're making 2,800 naira profit. What can beat that? So imagine how you have 1,000 of it. My plan is to make sure we have 5 million palm seedlings, the modern palm seedlings. And once we have that, I will not come to Abuja here, coming with my cup in hand, begging for subvention, which they decide to cut at will. So every state must look inward. And imagine that assuming federal government does not exist, or it does not exist, what can I do? That's what's called wealth creation. Because today what we have now is cashierism, where every governor, local government comes to, federal government will come with cup in hand, begging from NNPC, like beggars. So, and becoming cashier. So when you beg, you spend. That's what is called administration.
You know, I'm happy you just mentioned local government. Let's look at local government administration in your state. How is it taken up?
Local government is fantastic in my state. What we had was, right now we don't have elected local government chairman because we're in court, in the Supreme Court. And so that has derailed. The same people again. When we had, we went to court at the State High Court, the state won. They went to Court of Appeal. In the course of interpretation, the Court of Appeal said that that the state government does not have the right to what they call sack elected local government chairman.
Yes.
But we're saying that the local government chairman was not ab initio even elected because there were court injunctions, 4 court injunctions against them before the election. So the election actually did not hold. That was the point. So the Supreme Court now to interpret who is right or wrong. Now, but even at that, when the case was pronouncement in the Court of Appeal, these people came back with machetes into the local government and were beating up all the people there. And they will tell that Rochas does not obey any what do you call it, any law. And I say, tell me which one we have not obeyed. So local government administration is working. And let me tell you for the first time, local government in Imo State is building over 1,000 kilometers of roads. Local government in Imo State is building 27 general hospitals. It's building 205 upstairs schools in Imo State, which has not been recorded before. So it's working. But the moment we are through with the Supreme Court, we'll go back and handle our elections.
But do you have a target to say, well, maybe after a certain period of time, certain amount of youth will be employed, certain kind of jobs will be created, your IGR will be increased, maybe lashing onto agriculture? Is there any such thing there?
Oh, yeah. So right now we've created a ministry called the Ministry of Internal Resources and Pension Matters, because for us, internal resources is very key.
How about the pension? Are people still queuing up, or how is that one going?
No, pension, we have dealt with that. I think ours is completely a different system we're practicing. But if you want me to take the pension thing, I can take it first and then come back to your question.
Let's take the pension before we go.
Okay. In the pension, now what we have done is, when we came in as the government, we found out that we have 12 years backlog of pension. Some people have not received their pension upward of 12 years. And that was really, really a crisis for the state. So when we came in, we cleared all those outstanding pension and all the claims. Today, no pensioner is owed in Imo State. But again, what happened then is that the practitioners didn't want the thing to work right because they benefit from the pension stealing and corruption. So I said, well, listen, we'll do it differently. Let's again decentralize this pension because I believe in decentralization of power. We now moved it to what is called Community Government Council. Remember the community government? Now, every community, every pensioners go back to their community to collect their pension. So when a ghost who has died 10 years ago coming to collect pension, then the community will say, no, we knew you died 10 years ago. What are you doing here? And if the ghosts still have life, we can of course collect the pension. So with that, we're able to save about 60 million naira every month from just pensions.
60 million naira?
60 million naira. From pension, from paying direct. Well, and we didn't engage, though now we're computerizing, but we didn't engage any consultant who were paid 30 or 50 million. We did it ourselves through the CGC. So everybody knows who. You know everybody in your community, am I right? So it works perfectly for us. So the pension is working well in Imo State through the CGC.
Excellency, that's where we have to let it go. Well, thank you very much indeed for coming out this morning. Well, we've been speaking with His Excellency Rochas Okorocha, Governor of Imo State, on a wide range of issues, including security. Well, we're back in just a moment here. Please join us again. Today on Sunrise Daily, and yes, indeed, coming to you live from Abuja. Well, that's it. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Thank you so much. I'm
Sulaiman Alede.
Back to you, Lagos.